Hello, this is day 28 of Yoga for Dad. This is for my dad, in memory of my dad, to bring awareness to mental health and addiction in our country. So today's Yoga for Dad is story time. And today I just kind of wanted to focus on the times before my dad started using drugs. And so he started using drugs when I was 12. And before that time, life was pretty normal. You know, he was a teacher. We did all the holidays. When he first started, that was when he was able to get joint custody of myself and my two other siblings. So we were spending the same amount of time with him as we were with my mom and my stepdad. So before that, it was just totally normal. Like, we'd go over there for all the holidays. We go to my auntie's house up in Riverside, and sometimes we go to my other aunt's house, and we knew all of our cousins and aunts and uncles, and we spent time with that side of the family, and it was just normal. And it became not normal after I was like 12. My brother was like 5, and things started not to become normal. My dad stopped showing up for visits, which never happened. He always used to pick us up. He never missed a visit or missed a pickup. And then it just became normal that he was not there, and normal feeling like angry towards him. And for the longest time, we didn't even know what was going on. I think that the adults knew what was going on, but I don't think they knew how to tell us, or even if we would understand that. So I think that my sister and I and my brother, we just kind of felt abandoned for a very long time. And I know that he was dealing with his own issues, but of course this is my perspective. And then during the years, it was a lot of in and out of rehab centers, getting clean, then getting not clean, and then getting clean. And he was following a program, and I think it must have been like the last 15, 20 years, probably 15 years, he was not following a program. He was thinking that he could do this on his own. I'd say 20 years, because I've been living on the East Coast for 15 years. So yeah, that he could do it on his own. He can manage it on his own. And he didn't feel like he fit in with people that were going through the 12 steps. He didn't really feel like he fit in with the people that he met there. So he stopped going, and he stopped reaching out. He stopped asking for help, and he started using off and on again. There was very long stretches of time where he wasn't, and I thought that he was using less than he was. There was a time period where when I was living in Los Angeles, I was a dancer, and we used to dance for different restaurants and weddings and stuff like that. And New Year's was our biggest night. And for like the last 3 years that I was in Los Angeles, I used to ask him to drive me around, because I was sure that if he was with me for New Year's, then he was staying clean. And And it worked for a couple of years. And then the third year, I can tell that he was like itchy, like all night. He was like, he wasn't really focused. He wasn't really paying attention. He was just really off. And then the next year, he didn't drive us at all. He said that he was busy. So that was me, again, trying to take care of him. And that was like one of the reasons why we moved to the East Coast, because the roles were kind of reversed. They were reversed for a really long time, and it was a lot of stress taking care of my dad, or just wondering when he was using and not using, and being in the same state was really stressful, because I would know when he wasn't using. It was clear, and it was clear when he was. So I know that was it was a huge reason why we moved to the East Coast, why we moved to Maine. And it has been a lot less stressful. I still suspected when he was using, but the burden wasn't as heavy, being 3,000 miles away. My dad did visit Maine. He was actually the first person. He met us here in Maine our first week here. So when we drove here, my dad was here, and we picked him up at the airport, and he kind of drove around with me to find a house, and then he came and like 2 or 3 other times to Maine. And I remember the week that we were driving around with the realtor and we were trying to find a house, the realtor suggested that we might buy a house together. And my dad was like, yeah, I can move to Maine. That would be awesome, And then, because he was kind of freaking out about me moving across the country, I can move to Maine. That would be great. And what if we bought a house together? That would be awesome. We can find a duplex. And I tried to be subtle about it. And I was like, I don't think so. I think that, my husband and I just want to buy our first house together. And just that statement alone just put him on a downward spiral. He asked me to take him to the liquor store, and my dad never drinks. He bought a bottle of something, and then he asked me to drop him off at the hotel. And he spent the whole night in the hotel and the next day. And still thinking back, I'm not even sure, did he do that on purpose to see how I would react? Because it was like, poor me, you hurt my feelings, so I'm gonna do this, because it was self-destructive, right? I mean, he knew that he couldn't drink, and he didn't even like drinking, but that was the easiest and available thing to him. There were some mind games. There were some self-destructive mind games that he played with us and played with himself. And that was hard to deal with. And it's hard for me to do these stories every Sunday, because I'm really trying to think about the positive, but I don't want to negate the negative or the things that really were hurtful. And I'm trying to flip this in a positive at the end. And sometimes it's a little hard. Like today it's a little hard. But my dad stopped asking for help. He stopped working the program. he thought that he could do it himself, and I think that he just wanted to do it himself because he thought that he could use, you know, here and there, and that was okay. He also continued to play these like mind games with his with himself and with his family, which were not. It was not cool, and I think that if he would have tried to really work on his issues, it would have been a lot easier for him. When he was playing softball, he felt like he was doing something, working with the team. He had a lot of friends that kept him on a good path for a while, but it still wasn't dealing with the underlying issues that, you know, the depression, the self-destruction, all those things. He never dealt with those head on. He never went to therapy. I mean, I think he went to therapy if he was forced into it when he was in recovery, but he never continued to go to therapy. He just liked therapy. He said that he went once and he didn't like what the therapist said. So he never worked on the real issues. And it's scary. And I understand that. But if you want to move forward, you're going to have to. You're going to have to confront your demons. And he just wasn't willing to do that. So I hope that if you are going through, you know, anything like this, depression, addiction, any kind of mental illness, that you would have the strength, I am hoping, to reach out and get the help that you need. So before I go, my auntie got me this book. It's a daily oracle, and I'm going to start using it like after the stories and maybe after my yoga classes. So what I'm supposed to do is ask it a question and then flip through some pages. And then read the first one that comes, and it says, "Your ancestors are watching over you." So, I guess that's fitting. I'll continue to use this. Thank you, Auntie Yosh and Mom, for bringing it over to Maine. So I will see you all later, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. So this is day 28 of Yoga for Dad. Thank you for following in this journey. Please subscribe, like, and share. And please comment if you have any questions about anything. Please comment, let me know, and I will get back to you. And I will see you tomorrow with another Vinyasa flow.